A good friend is always nice. I'm using this a lot.
Like you're gonna be cringing when you hear this one. It's tough.
What did I just do? Did I just kill my best friend? I don't know how to say we love you, but I love you. Hello everybody, we are Jack and Jack here with 17.
Today we're gonna be telling some embarrassing stories using our favorite emojis. This is my favorite. I'm not a mad person. It was just an example.
We were both there for mine.
Most awkward first kiss. Well,
I think I took the cake.
Yeah, yours takes the cake. You know, when you're like in 6th grade, like 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, you're kind of like, ooh, kissing girls, like cooties, like, you know.
But then you get into 8th grade.
But then you get into 8th grade.
And you move a little forward and there's these things called like parties and stuff.
He was feeling like a star.
I was.
He had one of the cutest girls in the grade. They hugged all the time. He was like a menace at the hugs. He was like, yeah, hug.
But then it got to the point where we started texting and, you know, we were discussing the next step. And this is how I felt. You
know, G and Liz want to have their first kiss. They're both just extremely nervous, you know? They're young, they're in love.
We think we're in love. Like,
think they're in love.
Heavily in love.
So I'm like, G, listen, just start, kiss her hand real quick. He took her hand, gave her a little kiss on the hand.
I was like, all right, that's kind of
easy.
Weird, but easy.
And the next time I'm like, all right, now just kiss her on the cheek, you know? It's just like a different part,
different
like, skin.
I'm using this a lot, but this was like how I'm feeling almost this entire story.
Have you even had a cheek kiss yet?
No cheek kiss, no receiving cheek kisses or giving cheek kisses other than like my family.
Just you're like nervous with your significant other when you're in middle school.
Very nervous. But at this point, I kiss her on the cheek and I'm like, I'm here.
Just move like 2 inches to the right and you will be on her lips.
And I'm like,
and just,
okay.
Just kiss, it's just like moving 2 inches to the right. What's the big deal?
Easy, that's good.
And he ends up doing it and bro, this kid was on fire, yo. Like, I've never seen him so happy before.
We were like, well, we did it, and then that was my first kiss, and like I talked about that for so long.
So all we can say is, G's first kiss was, you know, miraculous. There's a song we do called Wildlife that, you know, it's a pretty hype song, you know.
It's hype.
It's pretty upbeat. No telling what I might do when I'm in the right mood, you know me. I'm all up in the party like a VIP and everything is looking better from my POV. Nocturnal animals, we don't sleep. And I'll probably forget you, CeeLo Green.
CeeLo!
Like the Amazon 100 degrees and that backside's bigger than the
family tree, so drop that thing like a fumble.
Now you're talking to the
king of the jungle.
You got lions, tigers, bears,
oh my.
And every single one's turn out, yo. I don't want anybody bringing the
vibes down.
So if you want to wind down, oh, look what I found.
A little something that'll keep you awake.
Tell the break it down, don't be afraid to get right.
I'm not done yet.
And so,
pass me the bottle.
This is going into the final hook. We're going into the final hook, and every time on the last drop, we do this move. So he bends down like this, and it's like wildlife, wildlife, and I rotate off his back, and I do this like ninja aerial spin. I don't even know what you want to call it, but it's like this little trick that we figured out we could do back in high school. And
made it up.
Basically, I'm rotating off his back, and I just am like, yo, this is not gonna end well. Like, this is not good. I have a bad feeling about it.
I gave him way too much thrust.
And so I end up getting like halfway there, and I just end up falling straight on my back.
I'm cringing thinking about this.
I don't get the full rotation.
He actually recovered extremely well. I gotta give you a thumbs up for that. Okay, so
I'm pretty sure it was the third song, right?
Third song. We're on stage.
Flight. Keep in mind, this song's pretty fire, you know?
It's fire,
like,
and we're feeling cool.
Yeah, we wanted to show out.
I'm right here, and it just starts dripping. And I'm just like, it's flights to LA, trips to Paris. They could talk, but we gonna kill it. And just do.
Oh, there's blood coming. There's blood coming. And so we had to adapt. Luckily, my rap verse was coming up. So, you know, while I was hitting the fly with me, come fly with me, 30,000 in the skies,
where you trying to be?
Yeah, so luckily while I was hitting my verse, G could kind of get his nose under wraps, come to terms with what was happening.
And also the fans know every lyric. They're like, yeah, we know everything.
I think they were kind of hyped that your nose was bleeding too. So we were in Europe, and we had just finished a show. We just got off stage. We were feeling pretty good.
Feeling good.
And our security man, Phil, carries a taser on him. Sometimes he would just like, we'd be like, yo, can you show us it? Like, and he would just like, kind of like spark it sometimes. Like, and we'd be like, dang, I want to like use that. Like, how bad does it hurt? Because he's been tased before, and he's like, oh, it's not the worst thing in the world. You know, it's like you know, a little pinch, and then you just like, you tense up for a little bit, but it's not the worst thing. And
we're both here thinking like,
wow, really? I'm like, Phil, what would happen if like I tased G like lightly on the arm?
Scheming.
I was scheming. I was talking to him, and he's like, well, just know you're fully liable for this. I was just like, yo, this will be funny. Our fans will love this. G's in the bathroom, you know, doing whatever. I don't know. And I'm waiting on the side of the door, and I'm just like, I'm looking at the camera, and I'm like, shh, shh. And I have Phil's taser in my hand. And he walks out, and bam, I pop him just right in the shoulder, and I start freaking like. Me, like, I'm like, yo, what did I just do? Is he gonna wake up from this? Like, did I just kill my best friend? Like, I really thought I might have just killed my best friend. Worst case scenario was going through my head, and luckily, you know, he was up within like, you know, 10 seconds. Just, like,
all was good.
Yeah, he wasn't even that mad, and he's like, did you film that? That's gonna be some good content. Oh, this is kind of a funny story about something embarrassing that I did in front of my crush.
This was my reaction. I was crying, laughing.
Yeah, it was funny. And so I'm about to take her out to this restaurant, and you know, I was like, I gotta play my cards right, you know, if I want to keep this girl.
Hearts are flying though. Hearts are flying.
Yeah, we're definitely, you know, into each other. And I hadn't taken her out on a proper date yet, you know, and so this was coming up on Valentine's Day. I did the whole, got her flowers, got her the chocolates, which hopefully made up for what I'm about to tell you. My mom, she had just said she had loaded a little bit of money, a little allowance on my credit card, you know. The bill comes, and I just like, I'm feeling confident. I'm like, I got this. I whip out my card, I just throw it down, I'm like, yeah, just put it on there. And she's like, you sure? And I'm like, of course, babe. I see them walking back with the credit card, and this was the look in their face, and this was the look in my face. Yeah, I was just like sitting there. Her back was to him, and I could see him walking towards me, and I was just sitting there like this. I'm sorry, sir, your card didn't go through. Oh my God, I was just like, one sec, let me call my mom real quick.
And that's
which you never want to do. You never want to like have to call your mom at a date with like, you know, your significant other, because that's just like the most childish thing. But luckily, she was very sweet. She offered to get the bill.
She's a good girl.
I was kind of just mad at myself and my mom for the miscommunication.
First off, I'm just gonna give you an emoji that I feel like explains the entire story. I was actually in a rush to go home from my girlfriend's house. She let me take her car. It was a Range Rover.
It was a pretty nice whip. You know?
It was a brand new big body Range, and
like you're gonna be cringing when you hear this one. It's tough.
I drive a whip all the time, so I'm like, okay, I got this. You know, I'm cooling.
Listen,
I feel good.
When you're in the car with G, like this is probably how you'll feel a lot of the time. This kid whips.
I was about 50 yards from a red light, right? Going 40 miles an hour.
Just like on fire, he's whipping.
And I see, you know, on the side that light is turning yellow. So I'm like, okay, I really don't have to slow down because that's gonna go red, and I know these lights, I'm always at this intersection, it's gonna turn green, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm not even gonna brake. And so I don't. And about 10 yards before I get to the light turns green. I'm feeling on fire, right? I re-accelerate 10 yards out, and then that's the last thing I remember. I know something weird happened, and I feel kind of sick. And I'm like, what's going on? What did I just do? And
then he's like, oh no.
Yeah, and that's where when I realized I'd crashed my girlfriend's whip. I had to call, obviously, my girlfriend, and I was like, yo, I'm so sorry. This was 2 minutes after I left her house. I'm so sorry. I just totaled your car. Felt sick, and I thought was gonna be so upset, but it turned out she cried, like instantly.
For your safety,
she was crying. I was completely good. I was completely fine. The other guy was completely fine, but both of our whips will never be driven again. Then I had to, you know, moms are always a little easier to talk to, so her mom got it, and then I had to call her dad, who bought her the car, and I was feeling very much like this.
I would have to say it was after our show in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And I don't know if you know, but the Brazilians, they're very passionate, and they're just full of love and passion.
Full of love, full of passion.
And so after the show, Jack and I get off stage, and we are just like, what just happened? That was ridiculous. Like,
that was unbelievable.
We caught wind from our security that there was more fans outside than there were inside, so we're like, ooh, this might be tricky.
We just played like a 3,000 person show, and there's
like another 3 outside.
Like,
that couldn't get in.
That made no sense to us.
Yeah. Our security was freaking out, and the venue security was like, yo, you guys have to literally
like, you have
sprint into
to
the
go
bus.
Now. And this was the first time that we ever had walked
you had to,
outside.
like, run to the bus, you know what I'm saying?
And there were like 6 policemen on either side. We've never really had that before this point.
Literally like grown men just like trying to hold back.
And these girls are like, I'm gonna get to you.
And
one of them did, remember that?
Yeah, so one of them busted through. I got my hat stolen for sure, I remember.
Yep.
And I never got it back. It just
my
got
shirt
lost in the crowd.
Ripped forever.
He got his shirt ripped
That's
as he was
okay
walking
though.
out.
I remember our big security guy. He's actually front of house, but doubled his security. He picked Johnson up.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing. He was just like, yep,
Whatever,
Johnson.
I can pick it up.
And he picked him up and he ran him into the van. And at that point, yeah, I was like, what? Like, what is going on?
He was still like stuck outside.
And meanwhile, like once we get into the car, there's like, it sounds like hail.
Yeah,
like crazy
the strongest hailstorm you've ever been in.
Like a crazy hailstorm.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, are they like angry at us? They start rocking our bus.
And we were like,
is
this thing going over?
Is this going? Are we?
Because if it does, like, there's a lot of people on either side. I don't want anything
to like
to happen.
Smush anyone. I don't want to like flatten any fans, obviously. But you know, the Brazilians are passionate. We were like, wow, we got to come back down here and do, you know, a show twice as big so all the fans can get it.
Yes, the love down there was on fire, and we cannot wait to come back. Brazil, damn.
Brazil.
I don't know how to say we love you, but I love you.
So I had just turned 21, and we were in Breckenridge, Colorado. It was actually like my birthday week.
Johnson's feeling good.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. And so, yeah, we get to this restaurant. You know, we had just been skiing for 2 or 3 hours.
Freshly 21.
Freshly 21, I'm feeling good. And I'm like, hey, I'm 21 now. Like, I think I can get a beer, right? Like, that's how this thing works, this age thing, right? And they're like, oh, can I see your ID? Of course, because, you know, I have a baby face. I didn't even have a beard at the time. I looked like I was 12. I realized I left my wallet at the house that day. And I was just like, oh my gosh, of course. Like, my dad, of course, he comes out of nowhere and he's like, well, you know, you could look him up on the internet. And I'm like, Dad, do not do this. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. He's like, you ever heard of Jack and Jack? That's what he said. And I was like, Dad, stop.
Dads are funny.
They're funny, they're funny. And yeah, it just made me cringe a lot. And it was very embarrassing. So thank you, Dad. But that's what dads do, you know?
Hilarious. So, senior year. We feel good. We feel like we're extreme elders, you know, like we're respected amongst all high schoolers. Basically, we had like 6 months left of school. It might be January or December or something like that. And
you're feeling invincible.
Invincible, like we're testing the limits.
Nothing can touch him. He's a star. You can do whatever you want.
And so me and my buddy are in chemistry together. Lab days are the best days because the teacher goes away and grades papers.
You gotta love labs. Yeah.
They would never pair me and Cole together because they knew it was gonna happen. And so it was almost even worse that they didn't because we were across the room from each other. And so we're just like trying to make everyone in the school laugh. And so when the teacher like turns and like starts writing on the board, we like pull our pants down really quick.
But like boxers on, right?
Of course. There's this teacher named Mr. Schmeckpepper. That's how everyone in the school feels when I mention this name. But basically, he catches me. I'm feeling like this, but I don't know that he's looking at me like...
He comes in
like that. I'm like, yeah, Cole, look. And Cole's like, no. I'm like...
Too late, Cole.
I turn around. Well, first off, I'm like, wait, what is Cole saying?
Who's behind me?
Who is this? I turn around.
It's the Schmeck.
It's the Schmeck, dude. He's about to lay the hammer down.
He's about to lay the pepper on you, bro.
He really is. Like, he's about to salt me down. Okay, so he looks at me like, gee, what are you doing? At the end of the day, it's something to laugh about. Yeah. Guys, thanks so much for watching.
Seriously, we love you a lot.
Yes.
I hope you know that.
We feel cool. And let us know what you think in the comments.
Truly, if you got any secondhand embarrassment, you know, make sure you give it a thumbs up and
come laugh with us on tour. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
jackandjackofficial.com. You can see the new project that's coming out top of the year and all that good stuff. And until next time, peace.
And subscribe. Make sure to subscribe to 17 right now.
17 right now.